What up, Clipper Nation? Let me know if you can hear me. Clippers in Denver. We got your pregame show coming up top of the hour. Clippers countdown. La Murray of the NU will be on. Carlo Jimenez. The usuals. I should probably tweet that part out too. You know what? I have the edit button now because I paid for the stupid verification because it lets you post clips as long as you want. Katie Newton's shaking her head at me. She's embarrassed, I guess. Bonesaw says, yep, he can hear me. Is Brian Seaman, Bonesaw? Is Brian Seaman? Let's see. Murray will join the show. And Carlo is on the call at 2 p.m. From Ball Arena. Good to be with y'all. Jeffrey Beltran's in here. Yo. Stacked roster today. Not sure what that means. The Clippers or the opponent?
Or the team, Carlo.
I'm trying to see if Coach Lue has talked yet pregame. I don't see anything from La Murray on that. We'll keep you abreast of the situation. There we go, Bonesaw. Bonesaw, can you tell me what was the full quote from Is Brian Seaman? What were you trying to say? Inquiring minds want to know. I know it's kind of a funny gimmick now or a inside joke, but what was it initially? What were you trying to ask? Do you guys want to see Katie Newton? Our producer, Katie. She's got Clippers shorts on, her pants on. See?
Noah Eagle.
From Noah Eagle. Your lineup. Jeffrey Beltran says, not going to lie, I'm scared today. Me too, a little bit. It's Denver, and they just lost by 15 at home, and that will not stand with Mike Malone. He can get a little bit fiery, a little bit angry. Love the guy. Pregame just 18 minutes away from starting. But yeah, you guys can hang out in the chat. Chop it up. There we go. Well, Murray gave me the retweet. Feeling better about life. Lost my wallet earlier today. It's amazing that you lose your wallet or keys or phone and you're cursing the gods and wondering why has everyone forsaken me and how could this happen to me and this only happens to me. And then when you find it, it's like you got a new lease on life and you feel much better. Like maybe that's therapy, losing your wallet and then refinding it. Just retrace your steps. That's all it takes. Luke says, my Clippers. Bonesaw, you didn't answer my question. Is Brian Seaman? What's the other part of that? Is Brian Seaman what?
On the show?
Please tell me. It's not on today's show. Unless, he is in the rewind. Did you find the rewind, by the way? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Boban. I can play it right now.
Spoiler alert, Boban Marjanovic will be featured in today's Clippers rewind. People are scared. You scared? Go to church. Get a dog.
Boban sounds like a Pokemon. Boban.
Katie Newton says Boban sounds like a Pokemon. Is that disrespectful to the great Boban? The magnanimous one? The one who gave everyone free Chick-fil-A on purpose last season by missing 2 free throws? That was amazing.
I mean, is it?
What will I not let go? The Brian Seaman question? Fine, I'll let it go. I asked multiple times. I have OCD, and this is hard on me. You can't just say something like that and then is Adam Osland. Shizzle Batizzle says. Is Mo Bamba playing today? I don't think so. But we don't know for sure yet. He could be back. Waiting to hear from La Murray pregame. The pregame coach presser. Let's go Clippers, says Wims. Let's go. Pregame in 15 minutes. Alfonso Lopez said, I hope they let Bones cook. You know he's got that extra motivation going up against his former squad. Usually that's how it works. I agree with you. I'd like to see him out there if KPJ is struggling again. That is kind of part of this. If Kevin Porter Jr. doesn't look right, I don't want to pull a guy after 2 games, but the Clippers just don't have a wide margin of error. So it's kind of important. They have to get one this weekend or they're starting 0-3. Bonesaw said Zoo equals the X Factor. Kind of like all season, you could say that pretty much. Wim says Jordan Miller time. That'd be nice. You know how I feel about it. I'd love to see Jordan Miller play. I think he should play now, but I understand it's a very, very tough decision. Who do you take out? Kali said, hey, Adam, happy to be live here. This is one of the only 2 games a European lass like me can watch live. Kali, where are you coming from in Europe? I don't know, timing-wise, 2 o'clock. It's like 12 hours away, is that? So 2 o'clock in the morning?
12 hours. Probably like 6.
Kali, where are you from? Fashizzle Badizzle said, keep rebounding well and hit some threes. I'm just going to say this about the rebounding. While it was encouraging, they had, I think, 13 offensive rebounds. It's also because they missed a ton of shots that were gimmies at the rim and they got the ball right back. I think the rebounding numbers were a little bit inflated, if I'm being honest about the game the other night, guys. I'm sorry. Alfonso Lopez said it's Miller time. We'll see about that. G Icon said, hoping for Miller to get some playing time today. Me too. Watching Russ on the opposite team, better than or greater than everything. Bonesaw said, is alas, he just said. I'm from Germany. It's pronounced Kaylee. Kaylee, how are you? What time is it in Germany? I know I could look it up, but I'm being lazy.
8 hours ahead.
Katie Newton says just 8 hours ahead.
I'm guessing. That's just me.
She's usually wrong, though, so I wouldn't worry about it. The Kenny GM said, do like me, sleep for 4 hours and watch at 3 a.m.
My brother does when he goes to Europe for Chargers and Padres.
Making sure I got my notes here. Maybe we'll do a Clippers After Dark later. We'll see what happens. Maybe I can take more calls than last time. Oh, yeah, put the phone in utility 1, too.
Couldn't do it when you were gone because I didn't have control.
Kaylee said it's 21:48. Is that 9:48?
Come on, Adam. Yes, and I was right. 8 hours.
Damn it.
No,
Katie was right?
9 hours. Shit.
9 hours. G Icon said, Adam, what are you drinking? I got a Dr. Pepper cherry 0 sugar. And this is like some elite diet soda. I don't know if it's good for my health, but it's got some caffeine and it tastes incredible. Katie Newton's very jealous. Lee Vyman said, would a win today by the Clips make up for the tough loss last game? I don't know. I guess I'm not. The goal would have been to start 2-1 somehow, right? So I don't know if it makes up for it, but they need it. The Shizzle Badizzle said, can relate, watching from Sweden. Wow. Is that also 9 hours ahead, you think?
Probably a little more.
10?
Yeah.
Just one more?
American education system really doing us well.
Yeah. We're smart. Oh, producer Katie retweeted?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know she could log into her Twitter account still.
I remembered.
Kaylee said most Clippers games this season are in the middle of the night thanks to Intuit. The only other game that's at a reasonable time is the Cavs game at the end of March. Can you get Clipper Vision overseas where you can just rewatch everything, I'm guessing? I know it's not the same as watching live, but just don't look at anything. No spoilers. Why would you be worried about the Nuggets? Is it because they're like one of the best teams in the West and just won the championship? Are you removed from winning it and have the reigning MVP and Nikola Jokic, who's won it 3 times? Why would you be worried? What's to worry about? Is it because they beat the Clippers 8 straight times until the Clippers finally beat them last year? Twice? They did do it once without Kawhi. Of course, they still had Paul George then. Chunk said, not going to lie, Lakers looking kind of good. Was hoping Suns would get that one. Try to tell y'all, I think the Lakers are a 50-win team if LeBron and AD are relatively healthy. They could be top 5 in the West. JJ Redick, been saying it forever. He's a really good coach. G Icon said, Adam, if we go 0-5, do we push the panic button? I don't know. Depends what your expectations were this season. I think they'll be making lineup changes. What do you mean by push the panic button? What does that mean? Bonesaw said, remember when that guy said Sky Jones had KD's game, we'd be better? If he only had Kevin Durant's game. That's not asking a lot. Excuse me. Kaylee said, I rewatch every game the next day, and of course, Clippers talk right after.
Aw.
Thank you, Kaylee. Appreciate you.
Wait, why'd you choose the Clippers? Just
Katie Newton just said in the snarkiest way, why did you choose the Clippers?
no. It wasn't
Wow.
snarky. It's a very just
Why'd you choose the Chargers? Chunk said, I think we will pull this one out today.
who's your NFL team, Adam?
Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. I think we pull this one out today. I don't know why. Just a feeling.
More than
The feeling. And I believe. Blaine Anthony said, I feel like we need to get James help. Cool. How? Linked. Woe6 said, what up, Adam? What up, Link? Where's Zelda at? Hey, Carlo finally gave not a retweet, but a heart. We'll see if he gives a retweet.
he was busy emailing.
Sure be nice, right? I got to send him the links here so he can get in. Oh, Carlo.
Hold on, I'm gonna turn your view off real quick. Okay.
Someone said, what teams are eyeing PJ? There was a report out there that there was some interest from, let me see. I kind of laughed at it, but let me just see. I will take any report that says something positive about the Clippers trading PJ Tucker and people actually wanting him. Not trying to be harsh, but he's 39 years of age. He didn't look good last season. I don't know if anybody has it, they can put it in here. I know one of the teams was Phoenix, but the report wasn't exactly coming from Shams or Woj's former account back when he cared about such things. Ray said, can't wait for the Nuggets to go through the whole Russ roller coaster. Yeah, well, be careful what you wish for today. Russ is going to be on that revenge energy. Blaine Anthony said, make a trade. I feel like we can get another score with decent defense. We can remain good till the clock comes back. Why are you trading more assets when you don't know if Kawhi can stay healthy? What is the point of that? Guys, if Kawhi can't stay healthy, you shouldn't be giving up more of your future. Blaine, I need people to understand this. Until Kawhi can prove he can stay healthy, there's no reason to quadruple down on this era of Clippers basketball. I have to be honest about that. Lee vibing, talking crap about Russell Westbrook. Low-hanging fruit. Kaylee said, what do you think would be the best adjustments Coach Lue can do to avoid Harden exhaustion? I think other guys need to play better. I don't know if there's much he can do. Kevin Porter Jr. can't go 1 for 8 today. Let me put it like that. Sista1 said, hi, Adam. Hi, Sista1. I think we've had our disagreements in the past, but better friends for it. Just like me and Katie. Gave me a really forced, awkward wink.
Double finger guns.
And shotguns towards me.
You got 5 minutes.
Blaine agrees I am right. See how easy that is?
5 minutes.
5 minutes till the pregame show starts, guys. 5 minutes. Slim Shady, we're on. Bonesaw said, until Kawhi can prove he's healthy, we should not double down on more big contracts. Agree. That would be insane. Kaylee, depending on what you give up, of course, like there may be something they could do that makes sense, but I'm just saying in general, since you're not giving me specifics, yeah, I don't like that. Kaylee said, would you rather have longer, possibly bad KPJ minutes or an exhausted Harden at the end? Harden playing 40 minutes, and I know they went into overtime, but that's just not sustainable. You can't keep doing that. Especially, they have a back-to-back. They play in San Francisco against Golden State tomorrow. Not easy. Golden State looks pretty good so far. System One said, any idea why Bones wasn't introduced opening night while everyone else was? Neither was Kawhi. It was just a mix-up. They couldn't find their names, Intuit board, everything's new there at the Dome. That's all it was. There's nothing to read into. Nothing. Yeah, well, the PA announcer didn't have the name. It was just a mix-up. Obviously, they're still on the team, guys. If you want to read into it, do so at your own peril. I'm going to check my notes here.
Cut you off soon.
Always corrections, always revisions. In my intro, I mess things up.
Cutting you off in a minute.
Instant classic. I will be cut off in a minute. The show starts at the top of the hour. Stay with us. We ain't going nowhere.
Carlo. Adorable, professional Carlo.
I spelled formulae for some reason earlier. I don't know. I just woke up when I put this together.
Are you Mr. Krabs? The formula.
That's Katie laughing in a diabolical, weird way.
I made myself laugh.
PJ for KD. Okay, you guys aren't serious. PJ for Olenek. You guys aren't serious. You know that can end up being a timeout. You bring up trades that are completely unserious. It would never happen. You know that can go. Sister One, don't do it. Don't do it. Lee Vibin said score prediction. Yeah, give me some of those. Reese got a burner. Suns turned into cheesecake when they played the Lakers, but demons when they played us. By the way, who's your player of the game versus Denver today? Stick around and find out. Kaylee said, I'm really hoping for a big Zoo game. He is, in my opinion, the most underrated center in the league. I agree with you. Reese got a burner, said 2 underrated. I got to go. We're starting in 2 minutes right here. I'm not going anywhere. Welcome into Clippers Countdown, and welcome to the Clippers' first road contest of the season. And talk about a trial by fire, as they are in Denver, facing a Denver Nuggets team in their mile-high fortress, and a place the Clippers haven't won in since Christmas of 2020, almost 4 years ago. And by the way, the Nuggets aren't exactly in a cheerful, merry mood at the moment after an opening night debacle against the OKC Thunder, where they would lose by 15 at home. Meanwhile, the Clippers opening night at Intuit Dome had the makings of an instant classic, with an environment and fan experience like no other, with the wall rocking and rattling Kevin Durant at the free throw line, and a 14-point comeback that had the Clippers up 9 with 3:52 left and in position to open up the Intuit Dome in style. But a KD game time jumper with just under 20 seconds left in the fourth got the game into OT, where the Clippers would eventually fall 116 to 113 in a heartbreaker. Here was Coach Lue postgame.
I thought we played hard and competed. I thought we had to play a lot smarter. We didn't play smart. 22 turnovers, and we talked about that coming into, training camp. We got to take care of the basketball. Shots were there. We didn't take. We passed up some shots. But overall, just, continue to keep trusting the offense. If we don't have it on one side, get to the next side and trusting, in what we're doing. But overall, they competed. We played hard, but, we all felt like that's a game we should have won.
The formula is there. Continue to play hard, but also smart. Be quick, but don't hurry. They'll have to be better in every area today against a Nuggets team that wants to bounce back with the reigning MVP in Nikola Jokic and a former Clipper in Russell Westbrook, who might be looking for some revenge. Tip time from Ball Arena in Denver is just 57 minutes away. Coming up, we'll have La Murray on the show from The Athletic. Carlo Jimenez, though, is up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Never fails. Ready, set, let's go. Clippers in Denver take it on the Nuggets. Tip-off just about 55 minutes away from Ball Arena. Welcome back in. This is the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. I'm Adam Oslin. Still to come, you're going to hear from the head coach in Tyronn Lue. But first, join the show right now from Denver, 5,280 feet up. That would be your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, my guy, how we doing?
Adam, it is so good to hear you. I don't know why that felt like the longest 2 days of my life, but I'm glad Clipper basketball is back, and it is great to be back here in Mile High City.
It is a tough place to play. We know that. More on the Denver Nuggets and what they went through in game one coming up a little bit later in the show. But let's get back to the Clippers. That Wednesday night opening night contest against the Phoenix Suns at Intuit Dome. And the Clippers were in control, up by 9 with 3:52 left in the ball game. You got to give the Phoenix Suns credit, but also the Clippers just didn't execute at a high enough level late there.
Yeah, 22 turnovers in that one was really tough for them. And I think also James Harden trying to find his rhythm, his spot on this offensive end. The Clippers, though, Adam, there's a lot of positives to take away. Their defense was excellent. They out-rebounded Phoenix by 9. I thought they were aggressive, pushing the ball in transition. This was a team that was fun to watch that seemed like their defensive principles that we had talked about pregame are in place right now because of how well they executed, holding a lethal Phoenix offense to a struggling 113 points in regulation, which I know may sound like a lot of points, but in today's NBA, you'll take that every day you can. So for the Clippers, continuing to execute on that defensive end is going to be key, but I think we saw so many encouraging signs on that side of the basketball.
Yeah, Derek Jones Jr. was very good on that end. Chris Dunn, Amir Coffey, a lot of different guys had their moments defensively. Terrence Mann. But I go back to Derek Jones Jr., who also on the offensive end, 5 of 6, 12 points, knocked down 2 3-pointers, a big one in the second half. Love seeing this guy and his confidence right now, getting into his bag a little bit more on the offensive end. Seems like the Clippers are encouraging it.
Yeah, Adam, he was able to knock down 2 threes. He only did that 6 times last year. Only made 2 or more threes 6 times. So to do it in the opening game just shows you his confidence, his ability. You asked Ty Lue pregame before the last game about how he thinks that Derek Jones Jr.'s bag might be that mid-range. How Derek told the coaching staff he thinks he has a lot more to add to his offensive game. So for somebody like Derek Jones Jr. come out, play with confidence, and then have success with that confidence, I think feeling your first 2 threes go down of an NBA season maybe can spark something the rest of the way for Derek Jones Jr. Great to see him be a big part of the offense. 5 for 6 from the field. I think when you see those numbers, the Clippers are going to hope he takes even more shots today against Denver.
Clippers had just 39 points total in that first half against Phoenix, but had 35 in the third quarter alone when we finally started to see James Harden click in offensively with that high pick and roll with Ivica Zubac. They combined for 26 of those 35 points in the third quarter. Those two finding themselves in the second half are really what was the engine to get the Clippers back into the ballgame.
Yeah, an engine I think has a ton of more ceiling to it, Adam. It felt like they were just getting it going on the offensive end, just finding each other's rhythm in that pick and roll. And Ivica Zubac and James Harden, look, they have to be the leading scorers for this team. When you look at the table at the end of the season, those two guys need to lead the way. Anytime that pick and roll is working at a high level, it's similar to here in Denver with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Those two players have to be playing their best basketball for them to find success. For the Clippers, it's not much different in their point guard and big man matchup with James Harden and Ivica Zubac. That pick and roll must be effective, and it was effective all of last year. Good to see that they haven't missed a step.
We talked about some of the struggles late there, just uncharacteristic mistakes. James Harden looking for Big Zoo on a bad pass that was taken away. The Suns got out in transition a little bit. But all these things are very much correctable and fixable by this Clippers team. You hope they get it out of their system early now.
Yeah, it's things that you don't expect will continue the rest of the season. Those 22 turnovers, giving up offensive rebounds. I thought it was really interesting, but Ty Lue talked post-game about the importance of not fouling, I should say, away from the basket. The Clippers way too many times put Phoenix at the line. Adam, Phoenix made 1 field goal in that overtime. They made 10 free throws. The Clippers allowed them to get to the charity stripe and knock down free throws, one of the easiest shots in basketball. So for the Clippers, can you still have that same aggressiveness on the defensive end and disciplined on the defensive end? That is going to be the key for this team. I think they have that aggressive part, but now it's dialing it back and making sure you're disciplined on that side of the ball.
Carlo Jimenez is in Denver. It's your Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off just about 50 minutes away. We'll let Carlo go for now as he has his one-on-one interview coming up next with the head coach and Tyronn Lue right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver from Ball Arena taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is just about 48 minutes away. Clipper Nation, you the best. I'm Adam Oslin. This is the official pregame show for your Los Angeles Clippers. Intuit Dome was Wednesday. Today, the first road game of the regular season, and a tough one at that. Clippers taking on, well, a bit of a nemesis, a bit of a rival of theirs in the Denver Nuggets. Still to come, we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind. We'll take things back to 2018, but first, let's head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with head coach Ty Lue before the Clippers take on the Denver Nuggets. Coach, going back to the last game at Intuit, what stood out to you about the building in Game 1?
Just our fans and how electric it was in the building. Our team was hyped up and jacked up to play in that building, but just everything, the screen, the fans, the wall, everything. You couldn't ask for a better night outside of not getting a win.
You mentioned that during the preseason, rebounding and defense were your points of emphasis. You out-rebound Phoenix by 9. Why were you able to be so effective on the glass?
I think just everyday preparation. I think in training camp, shot goes up, turn, hit, check, and then go pursue the basketball. We've been doing a good job with that, so we got to continue that tonight.
Norm played 40 minutes. Him and James both with the team high. How did you assess his minutes in that game?
He was good, I think, to start in that first half, and then we got to do a better job just keeping him involved in the second half, so he's in the flow of the game.
2 more for you, Coach. Obviously, this is a place that's tough to play because of altitude. Mentally, was there anything you did as a player when you were here, or is it just kind of got to take it how it is?
Just try to get through to the first time out. And once the first time out comes, I felt pretty good.
So it's really just those first 5 minutes?
Yeah, just those first 5.
And finally, Coach, looking towards today, you guys have had a lot of success guarding Jokic in the past. Zoo's been great on him defensively. What do you try to emphasize defensively against somebody of his skill set?
I think one, not giving him any easy baskets, just, offensive rebound putbacks. I think Zoo just being aggressive, being physical, and make him score over him, not let him get to the free throw line, not foul him too much. And like I said, Zoo's done a good job of doing that, so we got to do it again tonight.
Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck.
Carlo Jimenez there with Coach Lue. Pre-game tip-off just 45 minutes away from Ball Arena. Clippers in Denver taking on the Nuggets, and Nikola Jokic is no Jokic. They also got Russell Westbrook now, former Clipper. He'll be amped up for this one. More on that, but coming up next, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Clippers looking to find not just fool's gold, but some real nuggets in Denver. Maybe I'll get some later on Clippers Talk After Dark from McDonald's. Clippers taking on the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. Tip-off is just about 43 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. This is the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Coming up, we will get to your player to watch. Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. We'll go back to Carlo Jimenez as well. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. We're throwing it back to February 27th of 2018, over 6 years ago. The first Black Panther movie was #1 at the box office, one of my favorites. God's Plan by Drake was at the top of the Billboard charts, and the Clippers were down 19 in Denver just to come back as they unleashed the secret weapon, Boban Marjanovic.
Milos bounces left side to Lue. Lue gets a screen now for Milos. Goes to the foul circle. Dumps it into Boban all alone and flushes it in. How do you miss that guy? The tallest player perhaps on the continent. Milos bounces on the right baseline to Tobias Harris. Goes right back to Boban. He hands it back off to Tobias. Back to Boban from the right block to the rim with the left hand and lays it in. I mean, are you kidding me? I would give this guy a max contract tonight. Nobody can stop him. Now back up top to Boban. Hands it to Lue, who has 12 points in the fourth quarter. Lue on the right wing. Lue into the paint. Lobs it to Boban. Makes the grab. Comes down. Oh, and flushes it in. Hello, nasty. 115 to 108. The Clippers lead by 7.
Ryan Seaman on the call. I used to work with that guy a lot. Boban had 18 points and 6 boards in 15 minutes off the bench and sparked that 19-point comeback for the Clippers to eventually win 122 to 120 over the Denver Nuggets in Denver. They actually haven't won there now since 2020, Christmas Day of 2020, almost 4 years ago. Looking for some of that Clippers magic today against Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Coming up next here in the pregame shows, we are just about 40 minutes away from tip-off. We'll get to your player to watch right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. God's Plan. Oh, little hippie. Mom Spaghetti, Clippers in Denver, and a big one. First road contest of the season, and they're taking on Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Someone was telling me earlier, can Ivica Zubac be the Batman to his Joker? Not the Batman to someone's Robin, but the Batman to his Joker to counter everything Nikola Jokic does. Well, The stats say he is the best defender against Nikola Jokic in one-on-one situations in the league. We'll see what happens today in this one. Jokic had under 20 points in their loss to OKC opening night for them in Denver just a couple of nights ago. Clippers now, first road contest taken on the Nuggets, and we are just about 38 minutes away from tip-off. Still to come, La Murray of The Athletic will be here. But first, my player to watch, Norman Powell, Stormin' Norman. Not enough rain. There was a bit of a drought, just 5 of 16 and 1 of 7 from 3 in the Clippers' 116-113 loss opening night at Intuit Dome in OT. As Norman Powell started hot, I want to say he had 8 points in the first quarter, but cooled off after that. And I'm wondering, with the efficiency going down in that game, and it's too early to judge, but with him having to play defense at this high of a level right now, going up against the other team's starters, he was guarding Devin Booker at times, Bradley Beal. There's more being asked of him there. Is it taking something out of his legs and therefore his jumper? Just something to monitor as we move forward. We know how efficient Norman Powell can be. He shot 44% from 3 last season. He needs to be better from distance tonight. I believe he will be. In Denver, Clippers taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off just about 36 minutes away. Up next, we'll get your injury report right here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver taking on Nikola Jokic, Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and the Denver Nuggets. Tip-off is just about 34 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show for your Los Angeles Clippers. Coming up, we got La Murray of The Athletic coming on from Ball Arena in Denver. But first, let's get your injury report, brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Still out for the Clippers. Looks like Mo Bamba. People asked about that earlier, dealing with that knee soreness. Obviously, no Kawhi Leonard as well. And I don't think Trenton Flowers, who is on a two-way contract, will be available for the contest. The Denver Nuggets, fully healthy, ready to go. and they are frothing at the mouth right now after losing at home by 15 to OKC the other night. So the Clippers have to come out and start fast. More on what needs to be done and what to look forward to in this ball game with La Murray of The Athletic next. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Busters. Clippers in Denver taking on the Nuggets. Tip-off is just about 30 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official post-game, pregame show as well for your Los Angeles Clippers. It's Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we'll get to an NBA look around the league, but join the show right now from Ball Arena is our friend La Murray. He writes for The Athletic. He writes well. You read him every day for a reason. He's an insider with a bullet. La Murray, thanks for joining me here once again, my friend.
Thank you. I'm definitely looking at this line that says, for the casuals who don't understand, no sound during commercial breaks.
People keep saying no sound, Adam, when they're watching on the YouTube live, and I'm like, wait till we get back from the break. What do you guys want to listen to all the commercials, which we do appreciate? But yeah, let's move on from that. We're taking it behind the scenes a little bit too much. La, didn't talk to you after the game Wednesday night before we move into the game today, but that was a Clippers team that had a 9-point lead with 3:52 left in the ball game. What did you see that went awry for them to give it up eventually in overtime?
Surprisingly, the defense broke. I think they were really undisciplined on that end of the floor. There were too many fouls, just too many breakdowns. And I think the interesting thing that Tyronn Lue shared with us after practice Friday is that they had a game plan to not let Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant play. And what that means is, even though those guys, they're surrounded by some guys who can shoot, they wanted to encourage more perimeter shooting as opposed to letting the guys who are known scorers late in games cook. And those guys, Devin Booker got going before he fouled out. Obviously, KD hit huge shots. And then the biggest shot of the game to me, outside of Kevin Durant forcing overtime, was Bradley Beal off a ball screen, getting that three. I believe that was the only made basket by the Suns in overtime, if I recall correctly. Everything else was a free throw.
Yeah.
And so those were, I know everyone's going to focus on, I even focus on the turnovers and bad shot selection by the Clippers that played a part in it. But they play great defense to get themselves a double-digit lead, and they really didn't hold that up for the last, I would say, 11 minutes of the game.
I thought that was a huge shot, the one you brought up with Bradley Beal. That was clutch. Also, Devin Booker knocking down a three immediately after the Clippers went up by 9 with 3:52 left. And then James Harden rushed a three. Top side, it was from 30 feet out. He had an opening, but it was early in the shot clock. Didn't make a lot of sense. Did you attribute any of the quote-unquote mental mistakes or mental errors out there just to fatigue with James Harden missing a free throw late and then also the turnover, of course, to end it?
You bring up that shot, and I wrote in my piece. I had to wait a little while to let people see it, but I wrote in that piece that was a huge, huge turning point. Like, not only was it a bad shot in general, but Tyronn Lue wanted Amir Coffey, who was being guarded by Tyus Jones, to hit that small pick and roll, whatever you want to call it, to get the switch and let James, who eventually he wound up going to work on Tyus Jones a lot late in the game. That's what he wanted. Not only was that a bad shot, no one was prepared to offensive rebound. No one was in position to get back on defense. James was the last guy back. Kevin Durant got a layup. It was an immediate timeout. That's when I knew James is got to be better. And if it's fatigue, it's fatigue. But then he's got to trust his teammates. And if it's just decision making, he has to be better. He had 8 turnovers. He had a lot of terrible shots. He was trying to draw fouls that weren't there. And if it's going to be fatigue, guess what? You're in mile high right now. That's going to be a factor tonight as well. Like, I think that he'll be better. I think he'll be better mentally. I don't think he's out of shape. I can tell you he's in good shape. But when you don't play, when you're not in rhythm, he didn't play for a week. His last preseason game was on a Monday night. He had more than a week off. And it's not like James played all 4 quarters of any game. You can be in shape, Adam, but not be in the basketball shape that's required. Another guy that affected was Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. got 8 shots up in about 13 minutes of play and made only one of them, and the one shot was a breakaway pick-6 dunk. They need Kevin Porter to be better. I think if those guys are better, if Norman Powell makes some more shots, if they clean the turnovers up, I mean, we're talking one game to the next, one opponent to the next, one venue to the next. But think about how much better the result looks if you clean up a lot of controllable things.
Because I've been asked this question a lot, and I'm sure you have as well. How long of a leash do you think Kevin Porter Jr. has right now? Because there has to be somewhat of a sense of urgency. It's just one game, but they got a tough back-to-back coming up. Another one next week. They can't afford to drop many games. 13 minutes isn't a ton, but a game can certainly swing in 13 minutes. I'm not saying it was all on him. He just didn't look great. And some people are attributing it to rust. They think it could be rust for not playing for a season. I know we played 6 games in Greece. That's not the same thing as NBA basketball. But how long before you think you start hearing, okay, Bones Highland might be out there, Jordan Miller might get a shot if KPJ doesn't get it going now?
Well, I've been trying to say that the whole damn summer. There were people who were looking at the numbers that Kevin put up in Houston for a team that wasn't very good and thought that those numbers were going to translate to the LA Clippers in October. I think it's a good thing that he's even eligible to play right now. So, I think that the team is going to give him plenty of time to get it together. Ty Lue doesn't make rash rotation decisions until about the 10th game. That gives us until, I would say, the 3rd, 4th weekend of the season. I'm not looking at anything right now, but I think that's where we're looking at as far as any changes. We know that there's a thing hanging over the entire team as far as potential discipline there. Yeah. I also think that you got to give a player a chance to get that rhythm. You have to let him play his game. And I think that's what the Ty Lue and the coaching staff they're going to focus on. So he needs to be better. I think he's got the talent to be better. It's not like he can't play. We always talk about this, though. It's not about what you can do. It's about what you do in the constructs of your team and how other teams are going to play against you. And he's got those factors. So it's not just Bones, Jordan Miller as well. But I think Kevin Porter Jr., they need him to play well. That's who they've gone with. That's the coaching decision. He's on the team. And I don't think that, you're going to see any big decisions this weekend. You also, Adam, just real quickly, you just bring up the back-to-back this weekend, and then they have 2 days off. Those are the last stretches of 2 days off until December. They don't have a single stretch in November. So it's a very tough schedule logistically, and they're going to have to get it together sooner rather than later.
Someone who I thought was very good, and not just defensively, but on the offensive end, was my guy Derek Jones Jr., who I did my best Law Murray impersonation with pregame, asking Coach Lue, he's been getting into the mid-range a little bit more. What are you seeing from him? And apparently he told Coach Lue and the coaching staff, that's my shot. Well, he didn't get to show it off much the last couple of seasons. That's my shot. He knocked down a couple of three-pointers in that game, but felt like it would be big for his confidence to continue to knock down shots early in the season to carry over from what we saw shooting 37% from three during that playoff run with Dallas.
Yeah, the thing with Derek is that he's always been asked to be, the guy who runs and crashes and is just being an athlete out there. No team ever really asked him to have the ball in his hands. Last year's Dallas Mavericks had the most ball-dominant player in all of basketball in Luka Doncic and the second guy in Kyrie Irving. You know how they play. So the Clippers are somewhat similar. Maybe that's how they'll play a lot more when Kawhi finally gets himself on the floor. But they need guys to be able to be threats. And Derek has shown that he is capable of putting the ball in the basket instead of just waiting for catches and shoots. He should have had an and one in overtime. The referees missed that call. So he is a dynamic player. He's a guy who is not simply limited to, having all of his baskets be assisted. That being said, I don't think you want to play that to excess. And it has very little to do with his ability to put the ball in the basket and everything to do with Derek's not a playmaker either. He's not a guy who's going to beat a guy consistently and is used to making reads. And for a team that arguably has too many cooks right now, or at least they got guys who they need to take better care of the basketball, I think simplifying the game for Derek Jones Jr. is the best thing. And sometimes the simple play is that dribble pull up, that catch and shoot.
That's a great point. One of my biggest keys, obviously, all season long, but in particular tonight after they got off to that slow start against Phoenix, I think partially because Ivica Zubac picked up those 2 fouls in the first quarter, but they got to get rolling with the pick and roll like they did in the third quarter against the Phoenix Suns from the outset in this game. Do you think they're going to be able to against the Denver Nuggets today?
The Nuggets are a really good pick and roll defense over year. And the thing with the third quarter, Ivica Zubac and James Harden had 26 points between them. That's some star level production right there. They need Zoo to be great. They do not have any level of resistance against Nikola Jokic. Zoo needs to have one of those games where I remember being in Denver in January of 2022, and Zoo and Nikola had a heck of a duel. That's the game they need from Zoo. They need Zoo to produce on the offensive end because that's the best chance of any kind of wearing down of Jokic on the other end. Zoo has to be really good on both ends of the floor. He has to stay out of foul trouble. I am confident that he will. Zoo has never had back-to-back 20-point games. This is a great time to establish that mark, and that's just what they need. Tyronn Lue said before the game that he does not feel like James and Zoo are at their best right now with their execution. Again, today is as great a time as any to get that thing going.
How amped up do you think Russell Westbrook is for this one going up against the Clippers now?
Yeah, I think he's very demure, very mindful.
Do you think it could work against him? I think he was a minus 24 in 21 minutes the other night against OKC, and he attempted 6 3-pointers. And I just saw that you posted Mike Malone talking about, we want Russ to be Russ, but we got to reel it in basically a little bit here maybe.
The issue with Russ is not going to be about Russ. He's going to play the same way every time. The issue is the guys around him. And I don't say that to pacify Russell Westbrook or to pass blame or anything like that. I'm just looking at reality, the numbers. There's not a lot of guys on the Denver Nuggets that are capable of creating their own shots. And there's not a lot of guys on the Denver Nuggets capable of making shots. So when Russell Westbrook was on the floor, you want to explain the minus 24. When Russ was on the floor against the Oklahoma City Thunder Thursday night here in this building, the Nuggets made 11 out of 40 shots. That's just over 25%. They missed 15 out of 17 threes. If you have both of those issues and you are turning the ball over as often as you're assisting, and that wasn't a Russell Westbrook problem Thursday night, but that was a team issue. I think that obviously that's they're hoping that's in the Nadir period. And so we'll see. The energy is going to be there for us. Now, productive energy that leads to his teammates playing well as himself, and as well as playing better than the Clippers have. That is why we watch the game. So I'm here to see all of that. I don't really have any expectations. It's too early in the season. The Nuggets, I will guarantee you, will not be worse than they were Thursday, and we got to see what that looks like.
Agree with you. And to quote Mike Malone accurately, and I got this at La Murray, the NU on X, he said, quote, "It's not going to be just the Russell Westbrook show, but I still want Russell to be Russell." I love when La Murray's La Murray because people like it too. I guess I owe you a couple more bucks here as people are donating right now in the chat here on the YouTube live side, Law. You're up to $3 I owe you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thanks for doing this today.
Hey, thank you so much, and enjoy the game.
Coming up next, we will get to your NBA look around the league. Clippers in Denver with La Murray taking on the Nuggets. Tip off just about 17 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Welcome back into Clippers Countdown, whether you are listening on the Patriot AM 1150 because the Dodgers are on AM 570 a little bit later, or if you're listening on the YouTube live side at Clippers Talk. People asking some questions. Good afternoon, everyone, says Tom Raines. I'm just joining. Forgive me if this has been covered, but when might we see Jordan Miller play? He'll play when he plays, guys. There's no set time yet. If guys in front of him struggle, there's a better chance he'll play. But we know how it works with Coach Lue. He likes that 10-game sample size here. Coming up, we got Carlo Jimenez coming back on your pregame show. But while we have a moment, let's get to your league look around, brought to you by Toyota and Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. This game is starting things off in the association today. Coming up later tonight, the Phoenix Suns, coming off blowing a 22-point lead to the Lakers, are taking on the Dallas Mavericks at home. Victor Wembanyama, to be more accurately put. And the Spurs will be hosting the Houston Rockets. Go Spurs. Remember, the Clippers fighting with the Rockets all season long in the standings because OKC has a pick swap with either the Clippers or the Rockets, which means you want the Clippers to be ahead of them. So the Oklahoma City Thunder take their first-round pick from the Houston Rockets instead of from the Clippers. We've seen too much of that. The Minnesota Timberwolves will be hosting the Toronto Raptors as they are 1-1 on the season. And Julius Randle, I think, had 33 in their last game of victory, averaging 25 points. The new Minnesota Timberwolf coming over in that trade with Karl Anthony Towns going to the New York Knicks. The Chicago Bulls, speaking of the OKC Thunder, are taking on the Thunder, who are 1-0 after shellacking the Denver Nuggets in Denver by 15 just the other night. As Chet Holmgren had 25, 14, 5 assists, a couple of blocks, was making life tough on Nikola Jokic. That is something the Clippers now have to do. That's what they're being tasked with. More on that coming up next with Carlo Jimenez as we are just 13 minutes away from tip-off. Clippers, Nuggets from Ball Arena in Denver, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. If you want to go, then ride with me. Clippers took a ride to Denver. Jets setting around the country. 2-game road trip. They take on the Nuggets today. They're in San Francisco tomorrow, taking on the Golden State Warriors. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslem. This is Clippers Countdown, and we're now rejoined by your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez from Ball Arena. Carlo, let's talk about the opposition to start here in this segment. The Denver Nuggets lost by 15 against the OKC Thunder just the other night. Unexpected a little bit, I think, for some, but OKC is like that this season. I got them winning 60 games. Ooh, but you know Denver and the Clippers will be getting the Nuggets' best shot tonight as they want to give the home crowd their first victory of the season. So when you look at a game like that from Nikola Jokic where he struggled a little bit, and granted, he has struggled at times against Ivica Zubac, but I just expect him to get started early and often in this one. What say you?
I think you're 100% right, Adam, because this is a Denver team that is still trying to figure out their identity, how they can play. And I think something they figured out, for better or for worse, last game, and something Jokic talked about, is we're not a good shooting team. He said, really, we have two good shooters. That's Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, and everybody else is a little streaky. So does that mean somebody like Nikola Jokic, like you mentioned, is more aggressive because he understands when he kicks to guys like Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, Russell Westbrook, Dario Saric, or Peyton Watson, those guys might not hit every three like somebody like a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown, who they had in the past year here. Even Jeff Green could step outside a little bit. So it's a completely different makeup when you lose 3 of your 7 key championship pieces, one in each of the last 3 summers. And I think Denver's still figuring out how to play without a 40% three-point shooter on the outside like Contavious Caldwell-Pope. You mentioned how tough it is to play here, Adam. Denver 33-8 last year at home, but I think what's even scarier for this Clipper team, something you texted me in the wee hours as we always ponder this Clipper team, Denver has not lost back-to-back home games in this building all but once last season. They lost to Phoenix and Minnesota on a back-to-back in this building. That's the only time last year they lost back-to-back home games. So for the Clippers, a tall task ahead indeed here at Ball Arena.
No doubt. The Clippers haven't won there, by the way, since Christmas of 2020. I believe that's when I named Nico Batum Saint Nick because he hit a big three-pointer late in that game to help give the Clippers the win, and it was his first season with the ball club. He's back now. Got called for some fouls, being a little bit overly aggressive against the Phoenix Suns Wednesday night. There were a little bit of wonky calls, you could say, as I got some calls post-game regarding the officials. Clippers fans weren't happy about it. First game into a dome, and they still can't get a home call there. But this Clippers defense, we know how aggressive they are on that end, but as Coach Lue has talked about, they also have to defend without fouling. That's going to be very important in this one, too.
Super important. You cannot allow Denver to get to the free throw line early and often. This is a Denver team with some great free throw shooters in their group. Jamal Murray is 85%, MPJ and Jokic up above 80%. So this is a Denver team that's going to take advantage of the free throw line. Now, they didn't shoot a lot of free throws against Oklahoma City. OKC did a great job limiting the foul shots, but overall, if you want to really dive into the early big picture of the NBA, free throw percentage is up now. I know. We just started the league. All right, don't hit my Twitter DMs just yet.
Old takes exposed.
Free throw percentage is up as of 1:53 Pacific time, Saturday, October 26th.
Meanwhile, the Clippers missed how many in that game? 9 against the Phoenix Suns. Some big ones in that fourth quarter. Terrence Mann missed a couple. It wasn't just Kevin Durant who missed some when the wall was giving him a hard time, giving everyone in Clipper Nation free Chick-fil-A. But then the Phoenix Suns did hit 10 in a row later in the ball game. They were very good there. In terms of the Clippers in today's matchup, of course, I'm looking at Big Zoo against Nikola Jokic. But my player to watch would be Norman Powell because he went just 1 of 7 from 3 against Phoenix. Who's your player to watch in this one, Carlo?
I love that pick. Norman Powell, Adam, 40 minutes. I don't think we've seen Norman Powell play 40 minutes in quite some time, but he's finally in this starting role. I think my player to watch has to be Ivica Zubac in this one, just because it's Nikola Jokic on the other side. Zubac had success in the first 2 matchups against Nikola last season, and the third one, Jokic did Jokic things, had a 35-point triple-double and shot 60% from the field. But you could say, and I would argue, that Ivica Zubac won 2 of those 3 matchups last year. The Clippers will only play Denver 3 times this year, and so we'll see if Ivica can make it hard on Nikola. He did that really well, Adam. If you remember, in this building, Jokic made 14 free throws, but shot under 30% that night at Ball Arena. It was the ring ceremony, actually, here at Ball Arena. Dan Collins just showed me his ring to my right, our statistician for today. So a lot of emotions for Denver that night. We'll see if the emotions are a little differently here tonight. But excited to see Ivica Zubac prove you want to be a defensive player of the year? Well, try to stop the reigning MVP. That's a good test early in the season.
Hey, the numbers say no one's better in isolation against Nikola Jokic in the league at the center position by a long shot. It is Ivica Zubac there. I think Jokic is only getting 0.64 points per possession in isolation, one-on-one over the last 5 years, including the playoffs against Big Zoo.
Come on now.
But it still feels like he's going to bounce back tonight. So other guys are going to have to step up for the Clippers as well. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off is just about 8 minutes away. Clippers in Denver from Ball Arena taking on the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Coming up next, we'll get to your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Denver taking on Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Tip-off just about 5 minutes away. Coming up, we got tip-off with Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get to your keys to victory. The Clippers, we know there's going to be some turnovers, but you have to control the careless ones. Those plays did them in as they got Phoenix into transition for some quick buckets on Wednesday night. And they had a total of 21 turnovers. That is far too many. Offensive rebounds, they were good there at 13, but I would point out a lot of those were off chippies. They missed gimmies. They got the ball right back. Might have been a little bit inflated, but they need to crash the glass once again. And you can't let Jokic do both. Either make him a scorer or a passer. You let him get 35 and 12 assists, you're not winning that game. Try to make him one-dimensional. Easier said than done. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call. Clippers and Nuggets from Ball Arena in Denver, and tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.